Hey, Austin.
What's up, Trey?
It's been a few months since we've seen each other.
Yeah, it has.
Because we obviously haven't been doing another podcast on another podcast, thing with the same name.
On the Super Blank Cast 64
on the
network.
Super GamesCast 64 network.
Yeah.
We haven't been doing any of that. But today, it's been so long, how you been?
Good. Do you have any special offers for me or
I
anything?
do. We got this thing called SeatGeek. It's still around. Buying tickets online for sporting events and concerts has been a confusing process
You're telling me.
for a long time. But guess what? This thing called SeatGeek, it's different. It's created an amazing app and website that makes it so much easier for fans to buy and sell tickets online. Rangers season, you want to go to the Rangers game?
Yeah.
See losing baseball?
Whoa.
Even though they've been winning.
They lost tonight.
They did suck. You want to go see losing baseball?
No, I don't. Can I get other tickets on
Well,
SeatGeek?
you can go to SeatGeek, go on SeatGeek, go on the app. They have tickets ranked by red, yellow, and red. Green, yellow, and red. Green being the highest, that's your best deal. They make it so easy. They make it awesome. They do all the price comparisons for you, searching for multiple ticket sites and ensuring that you get the best possible deal. SeatGeek does all the work, and you know what, Austin? You save time and money.
Well, I guess I'll have to go visit SeatGeek during the podcast then.
Best
Trey.
of all, listeners to our podcast, Super GamesCast 64.
Wait, there's not like a promo code or
Well,
anything,
there
is.
is.
What?
If you go to SeatGeek and type in the promo code SUPER, you get a $20 rebate off your first SeatGeek purchase.
And what's that code?
That code is SUPER
Wow.
for our podcast.
Our very own code.
We got a code.
You and Adam don't do that.
We don't, but we have friendship.
Hey everybody, this is Nolan North, and I've already stopped listening to Super GameCast 64. You should too.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Super GamesCast 64. This is the blowout spectacular episode of Super GamesCast 64 where we focus on one game and one game only.
And this is the one you've all been waiting for.
This is the one you've all been waiting for. This is, it's been a few months since the release, but it's still is about as relevant as it could still be. I mean, I think the popularity has, or the talk has waned down a little bit, but I think people are still talking about it.
I still see stuff online every day.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Ukulele, of course.
Yes, Ukulele, the game by the ex-Rareware developers.
This will be our 3.5-hour Ukulele podcast.
We're going to talk all things ukulele, about the bat and the little iguana going around having adventures.
Hilarious.
It's just like Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, what are the odds? Who would have thunk?
Not me, that's
No,
for sure.
Not me. Today we're talking about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The new little indie game by this little small studio called Nintendo. Today we have a panel of guests to talk about this little game. We have Zach with a Q.
Hey, that's Zach with a Q.
Hey, Zach.
QZACHARY.
That's how you spell it. Zach was in it was one of our episodes on our main podcast we do every week on Super GamesCast 64 and Super Filmcast 64 Incorporated. Zach was on our podcast. That was with Adam, one of your other friends, who I do a podcast with Super Filmcast 64.
Oh, yeah, okay,
let's just promote all this stuff at the front end.
Yeah, let's just
promote, plug. Zach, how are you doing? How you been playing Zelda? All the Zeldas?
I've been just playing Zelda all around the clock.
Yeah?
No job.
No.
Just
Quit your job.
I quit my job to play Zelda.
Yeah.
And that's it. I've been doing it for, since the Switch came out.
Yeah?
And still not done with it.
Yeah. That's been the thing. We're not going to introduce the fourth guest. We're just going to keep talking. Fourth guest is Hunter Swinson.
What's going on, Trey?
How you doing, Hunter? Hunter's been on a few of our other podcasts, actually. And
the last one I believe was the March Madness, right?
Yeah,
and the winner of that, if I'm not mistaken, was Zelda.
No, it was Pokemon.
Ocarina of. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We chose Pokemon. That's right.
Sorry to kill your.
So this
thing.
episode's about Pokemon then. Okay.
Yeah,
Red and
Pokemon.
Blue, Sun and Moon.
We're gonna talk about Pokemon Go again. We're kind of doing that
let's do
roundabout
that.
thing,
Yeah.
With podcasts.
It's hot right now, dude.
Yeah, it's really hot still. It's still hot. You know what I love about Pokemon Go? It was the one instance where the mass population started caring about video games again a little bit. Like, you hear
It's like when Candy Crush came out.
yeah,
the moms got into it.
Yeah, you hear
moms
people
are gamers. What?
You hear George Dunham talk about Pokemon, and Eli Jordan going, "Oh, get what this Pokemon stuff's about." It's funny.
What's
then
his
then
deal?
everyone forget. No, he's a great guy.
I know.
Actually, he's a really good dude.
He's super cool.
Super nice guy.
Super cool cast. 64.
Yeah, dude, that's
You guys are empire building.
dude.
man.
We were building
this is
an
prestige
empire.
worldwide.
Yeah.
In a day.
You see, like the name is so stupid it works because you could put anything in
there.
that spot with Super Tindercast 64, like last
Well,
episode.
we were talking about doing a memes podcast
yeah.
the other day.
Super Memes
He
Cast.
keeps sending me fidget spinner memes.
I got
and
a
they're all
little knot
great.
right here above my belly
I'm not
button.
gonna
What's
lie. I
that
have
about?
3 of those on the way on from Amazon.
Yeah.
right now.
Oh
I'm sorry.
yeah. You got
They're on the way
spiders?
out. You're too late.
Yeah, they're.
What's
they're-
up with the shipping though? It's 2-day guaranteed. It's I'm gonna go upwards of a month. I think it's because it comes from China. Oh, it's here right now. Oh, my God. He just whipped it out. Oh, whoa.
If you can hear that, that's a fidget spinner spinning at about I don't know,
Look at it
maybe
work.
50
Super Fidget Spinner
1,000
64.
The swoosh of the
rotations
spinner.
per second.
How many?
50,000.
That's a
Really?
spinner.
Per minute.
Yeah,
And
got
what-
it at Tom Thumb, $4.
Jeez. For the greatest fun you'll ever have in your
And
life.
it's camo.
So
You
anyway,
can't
we
even
were
see it.
were
Can I
told to
touch it?
keep on topic. Keep on topic. We were told to
What,
keep
who
on talking.
told you that?
That's
okay,
that's
okay,
been
okay.
mandated by the powers
Can I
that
see-
be. So Hunter Swinson's here. He's been playing Zelda. He's a big Destiny guy, but he's like, "Fuck Destiny. I'm gonna play Zelda from now on." F you, PC Master Race idiots.
You excited about D2?
Dude, I just got done streaming, and that was the main thing we talked about was how the console guys are a little concerned that we're gonna get elbowed out by the PC guys, and you can start to see some of the bigger streamers who are console based are already starting to shit on the consoles
No one
because
needs to shit
Destiny is
on
gonna it's gonna be backed by Blizzard and the BattleNet. You're gonna have 60 frames per second as opposed to 30. So
Hey, come on, 30's cool though.
It's hard to believe though because Destiny 2 will probably be around for 3 years. So we're gonna be in 2020 and we're gonna be playing a first-person shooter in 30 frames per second. By 2020, that's gonna be
It's disgusting.
it's not gonna sound real. So
It's
there's
disgusting.
some issues on console, but whatever, dude.
I've
Xbox till
never
I
really
die.
noticed the frames per second.
So here's the thing about frames per second. The only time you notice the
Even-
difference is
yeah.
when you go from one game that's 60 frames per second to another game that's
Now,
30.
I
If you
played
just
the-
keep playing at 30 frames per second,
Yeah.
it looks
I mean,
great.
I have a PC now, and I played The Witcher on it. It looked beautiful, but it wasn't
Yeah.
it's not an end all be all. I can still go back and play 30 frames.
It's kind of like when you go from, like, the first time you go from SD TV to then you watch
Yeah.
HD TV, like, I don't get the difference.
Insane. That was like the biggest. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm like in the room with
Oh,
this person or
For
something.
me, it was
Yeah.
like nothing. I was like, I don't even see a difference. And then
Oh.
I watched it, and then I went back to SD, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 30 frames per second, I notice it now that I've played a few 60 games, but it doesn't bother me at all.
Mhm. I guess it's better with shooters because the accuracy and all that.
I
But you know
guess.
what? We're not talking about Destiny or shooters. We're 8 minutes into the podcast, and we need to talk about Zelda, guys.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
so
I'm being a little wild here.
explain
Breath of the Wild.
explain what we're doing today.
What we're doing today? We're talking about the hot new game out by Nintendo, taking the world by storm. So let's get serious. I'm sorry, I'm being a little crazy right now.
It's okay.
Just because of the mandates by the people above.
By corporate
By
coming
corporate.
down.
Corporate coming down with the iron fist.
Middle management scum.
Yeah.
I had a guy call it Breath of the Wind to me today.
This isn't a Pocahontas game.
Yeah. Nice.
So no, pretty much a backstory on this. If I'm sure everyone listening, because I think our audience is more casual than maybe a normal podcast would be.
Yeah, explain Zelda to our intrepid listeners.
No, I'm not going to explain Zelda. I'm sure everyone knows what Zelda is.
He's a green guy named Zelda.
He is, yeah. You're right.
With
Mm-hmm.
the long hair
Mm-hmm.
and with the sword.
He nailed it.
Protects
Nailed
the
it. There you go.
princess.
Jeez.
That's Princess
Where can
Zelda.
I buy this? Can I go on?
No,
Amazon?
Zelda's the
Get
green
this?
guy.
Oh, Zelda.
Oh,
Princess
okay,
Peach
okay.
is the
Who's
princess.
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Princess Peach is the prince. Who's the bad guy? Ganondorf?
Yeah, Ganondorf.
What is he?
He's Voldemort's cousin.
Voldemort.
He's,
Voldemort.
Okay.
Voldemort.
Yeah.
he's
well,
green.
Voldemort is Voldemort's sister.
And yeah,
He's a
Zach
turtle.
Zach knows all the extended lore.
Dude, he knows all the lore.
He's read all the novels.
He read the timeline back to front to back. You know, he's all about that timeline. Where do you think this falls in the timeline? This game, or we can talk about that later. Maybe.
That was 100 years later than after Ocarina of Time. I thought
It's
that
100 years
think so.
after
after he took
some
over.
event.
Uh,
I don't think it's Ocarina of Time. I think Ocarina of Time.
I think it's in the Ocarina of Time line though.
I think it's on the. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. I haven't finished it yet.
Well, okay, you know what? Let's
You
start.
were just
with,
playing and you're at the castle.
Yeah,
though.
let's
Yeah.
start with
Let's-
this. Well, let's kind of get back
some
to
credit.
the beginning. So, the last Zelda game was Skyward Sword, and that was on the Wii.
Well, the last console.
The last
Zelda
console game, yeah, because there was the Link Between Worlds.
And that
which
was
Are the
really
DS
That
Zeldas
was
worth playing?
amazing.
Just
good.
question. out there?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
That's a
so
good-
they're still like, you know,
Link Between Worlds.
mind bending
Link- yeah,
puzzles and
Link Between
creativity
Worlds
moving around.
was
You still have that in
insane.
a DS game? Oh, okay.
It's great.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Interesting.
no, A Link Between Worlds was like just the fact that there's like a 2D aspect to like this like
So
game
they
that
use
is
both
in 3D.
screens?
Those puzzles like did get pretty
Ah,
complex,
Mhm.
okay.
and I've personally like
Hmm.
I usually don't play a game more than twice or like more than once. And I was inclined to play that game like on hard difficulty
Hmm.
after I'd already beaten it,
Oh,
just
wow.
because the story was so good.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Great
It's
game.
considered a lot of people's favorite Zelda game. A lot, because there's definitely people like the 3D, people like the 2D, and it's very good. I guess spiritual successor to A Link to the Past. I'd say.
For sure.
Yeah. So the last console game was Skyward Sword, which people had a lot of issues with.
I loved it.
You did?
Yes. I don't know. Like everyone on the internet hates it.
It had
The
the
internet's
best.
always right.
It had the
Mhm.
best character as far as how the characters, as far as how they characterized Zelda and Link in that game were the
Mhm.
best.
Yeah.
I think.
Hmm.
They had the best, some of the greatest music, I think, in the
Yeah.
game.
Is the Switch backwards compatible to?
No.
No,
I mean,
you can
no.
That
Yeah.
seems like
Yeah.
something that the fanboys would have been way more up in arms about. Because I remember when Xbox tried to
were,
pull that shit,
they were
it sank
crazy
them
about
at
it.
E3, and Sony.
But I
Sony
think-
jumped ahead, and the Xbox never recovered.
I think the
Why is
difference
that not an
is
issue for Nintendo?
because they're not using discs anymore. Because I think of the whole idea is that,
Hmm.
oh, it should be backwards compatible because we're using a
the
disc.
same disc. Okay.
Now, if you're not using a disc, that's a little different. Now, I guess with digital downloads, that's
yeah, I
a
was
whole
about to say the
different
digital
thing, but
download should be available then.
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know.
I'm sure they will.
Maybe
Because now
I
that you
doubt
talked about it, I'm actually once I beat Zelda Breath of the Wild, I'd like to go play some of the other ones because that.
Yeah,
Well, I know that they've kind of like hinted at the whole virtual console thing like being something a part of the Switch.
Well, they stopped the SNES for that reason, right? They stopped selling the SNES. That's
I
what
think
they
that's
said.
so.
that's what like people think.
Okay.
For
that's what
all
they
that.
hope.
Yeah, that's what they hope.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Who knows with Nintendo? They do a lot of weird stuff.
yeah,
I just want Nintendogs back on.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Nintendo Switch.
So, so Skyward Sword wasn't. It had a lot of issues. It was also very small and very cramped and confined.
Very linear.
And
That doesn't sound like Zelda.
nowadays, it was, and
Hmm.
now, and it was sort of at the time where games were becoming more open, more. You had your Skyrims and all your open world games coming out. So Zelda took every Zelda game. There's been a long break between them. They do a lot of work. So I think in 2014 announced that Zelda would be open world, and and then people were kind of worried. What does that mean for Zelda, and what would that mean for the conventions of Zelda? And so I think people were very hesitant about it because you have to compare that game to all these other open world games that have done things so well, like Skyrim or like Infamous or
Red Dead.
Red Dead
considered
Redemption,
open world.
open world
That's
game.
what I wanted to ask is, was Ocarina of Time not considered open world? Was that not an open world game? I feel like
I'd consider it for the time.
Yeah,
it had
for
a
the time.
linear storyline, but it was still felt open world.
Yeah,
There was still exploration.
Yeah, you
But-
could move between areas
yes,
freely.
but there was always what they talked about with this game is like with Ocarina of Time and with Wind Waker, you could move between areas, but you had to have a loading screen in between, kind of.
Okay.
Even if it was an animation, there was still a loading screen going
Yeah.
on. And with Wind
Takes you
Waker,
out. Takes you out of it.
they did it. Yeah, and with Wind Waker, they did a thing where because of the sailing, they could they could kind of hide the loading screens with the sailing.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they weren't necessarily all the way open. But this game is completely open. Even when you go into buildings, it's open. The only thing that's not open is the shrines, but we'll get to that. You know, you have a loading screen for the shrines. But so anyway, you know, there was a bunch of hype coming into this game. Everyone was really excited, but optimistic, or I guess, you know, not skeptical. What's it called? Cautiously optimistic. And it comes out, and man, it's been getting tens and people. Even now, like they're really, because I thought there would be sort of a cooling down period where people would kind of step back and be like, okay, here's some of the issues, but I've not really seen much of that. I mean, there are definitely people who don't like it as much. But I think that the worst I've heard about it is it's a great. The worst I've heard is that it's a great direction they're taking it, and they just need to improve on it. And so, let me just get your general reactions, like all of you. How long have you played for, and what's your general thought of the game? I played for 75 hours. I've not beaten it yet, and I really like it. I definitely. I'm really enjoying the time. I do have a few, not issues, but things that I would like to see maybe improved upon or added in the next installment. But man, I really enjoyed it. It's top contender of my game of the year so far this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I've played 95 hours.
Okay.
It looks like. I don't fast travel, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm really
and that's
surprised you're able to
interesting.
look that up on your Switch and not start playing. That was something I thought was about to happen.
That's really good with the multiple apps and stuff. I've spent a lot of time just running between stuff and getting distracted, so I spent a lot of time. What did you ask?
I asked just sort of what what's your general consensus on it? Like, well,
It's been fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically everything that people were kind of hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to keep using this comparison, but like Skyrim, Zelda, and people kept saying
But it's
that.
not even Skyrim at all. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is
It's
that
completely its own thing, and it works.
And it does so much better than Skyrim as far as trekking the world and just in discovery and navigation.
Yeah, because you can interact with basically everything in the world. Things catch on fire, things fall over, things break. You can climb everything. That's I wrote a list of things of pros, and climbable is number 2 on my list. That like in Skyrim and stuff, or even we can go back to Ocarina of Time, where it's like you're basically told to go a direction because of the walls around you and stuff. But in this, everything you can interact with, and so if you are getting lost or if you don't want to go certain way, fuck it. You just climb up a wall and you can hop over, climb up a house, jump down, and you're wherever. It's amazing.
And the paragliding also is just it's really fun too. I know that's been done before, but there's a lot to be said for enjoying travel in games. There was a video by a friend of mine, Rasputin, who did sort of about the negatives of fast travel and why that kind of takes you out of games, and games should have more fun ways to travel, like Sunset Overdrive or Infamous, or even sort of Batman, where you can kind of glide and kind of do cool kind of maybe more parkour things with traveling, and makes it fun, makes the traveling fun.
Yeah, because people are inclined to fast travel in games because the travel is boring, and I think the goal for a game like that should be to get people to not want to fast travel.
And I think even Horizon has done a pretty good job with that too, where it's been, you don't fast travel because, there's, big ass dinosaur things you could, fight on the way to your destination. Those are just as important to fight with in your destination. But yeah, so Zelda's done an amazing job with its traveling and just climbing up. There's nothing more satisfying than climbing up a big mountain, just seeing the scenery.
Yeah.
That's been the really cool thing about it, and just sort of the wonder and seeing different things. And I remember the first time I saw that one of those dragons, I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
I was too scared to go to it because I was really underpowered, but I'm like, what the hell, man?
He's nice.
I know, they're nice guys. I haven't really done much of the getting the scales and stuff like that for
I've
the
got
dragons.
a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that also gets you to kind of want to not fast travel is it's a beautiful game. Like the colors and the scenery, and people are always like, when are we going to have our realistic Zelda, huh? Like,
I don't think,
I think this is the realistic Zelda. Like, at a distance, I mean, if you look at the textures up close, it looks kind of painterly, but I feel like this is the realistic Zelda. Everything looks real. It doesn't look Wind Wakery, and it doesn't look N64-ish. I mean, it doesn't look like the HD tech demo from a few years ago, but do you want that?
I don't think I've heard people complain about that. I think since Twilight Princess.
Yeah,
because I think they got Twilight Princess and we're like, you know. And the thing about that is those graphics age so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, high def, realistic graphics age terribly, but Wind Waker still looks beautiful today. And I think this game, it's enough of that cartooniness to make it where it will probably age pretty well. There's still a lot of draw distance, I think, issues.
Yeah, the mountains certainly have. You can see the polygon lines on a lot of the mountains, but from a distance they look great.
Yeah, I think that might be an issue, just because you know it's sort of a game about looking out in the distance and seeing something, and if the draw distance isn't great, then that's probably not good.
Yeah, I love the idea that you can anything you can look at, you can go explore.
Yeah, and when you say that, and that's sort of a kind of a cliche thing that a lot of like developers have been saying forever, but like you literally can go and like you want to go on the top of that mountain, you can go on the top of that mountain. You can go anywhere you want, like literally.
And I like how it's not like Skyrim where he just jogs up a mountain.
Yeah,
like actually uses his hands.
Like jump to get some like weird angle. Oh wait, I found this like flat spot I can kind of get on and hop my way up.
And you're incentivized. There's always treasures, you know. There's maybe a dungeon or maybe some like an encampment or something. And,
a lot of ore too that you can blow up and get. You know.
But what's cool to me about Zelda is that it's not so much about the treasures or even the gear you can come across, but I think the NPCs in Zelda are some of the most fantastic that I've played. It almost reminds me of when Grand Theft Auto first came out, and you felt like you're actually in another world because the NPCs were so engaging. I think it's so cool that every NPC could lead you down a new side quest or situation you've got to fight through. I mean, the NPCs are some of the best I've seen in this latest Zelda.
Because in Skyrim, the NPCs all just kind of look like the same, like
it's
tough
dialogue
guy
similar,
or,
atmosphere similar. Everyone has their own personality in this game.
And Zelda games,
the NPCs even. I mean, it's.
And Zelda games have always been good with that. Is making interesting characters, interesting side quests. I haven't done too many. I've done a lot of side quests, but not like I've not talked to every single person in every town.
Dude, that's the number one thing I would tell anybody that's going to pick up Zelda is talk to everybody. Don't walk by anybody and not talk to them. And then sometimes you get screwed because what are those the clan
the travelers?
Oh yeah, those are fun to fight though.
You'll walk up on an unsuspecting merchant, and then it'll be like, "You fool! I'm here to kill you!" And then he just shit hits the fan, and that's always fun. That's part of the game, but yeah, if you're gonna pick up Zelda or if you're still playing Zelda, go talk to every character because some of the shit that it could lead you on, it's almost like it almost feels like it's not an Easter egg, but it feels like it, right?
There's just so much cool detail, like in every, like I know, okay, like for example with Skyrim, you get to choose what you say and stuff like that, but that said, you're creating your own character and you're kind of like shaping how this person's going to react. In Zelda, you're playing Link, and Link, he's going to say, I guess, like what the developer
nothing.
Yeah, like nothing essentially.
But I think that's cool.
And yeah, it's cool.
In your own head, you have your own dialogue going on, right?
For sure.
Does anybody ever do that when it's the ... I'm always thinking like for myself what Link would probably. So I almost feel that it almost feels like although he doesn't say anything, it feels like it's still rich and robust dialogue from Link, who says nothing most of the time.
Oh yeah, no, and I think that like okay, even with like Skyrim or Fallout or anything like that, you can say different things, but the dialogue is still going to say the same. Like even if you do say, this one interaction, like you can say that again and again and again, the conversation is going to be the same. With like Zelda, you have these. If you talk to the person over and over again, they're going to be like, all right, you keep talking to me, what's up? Like, you're bugging me. Or if you talk to them with no clothes on, they're going to be like, whoa, put some clothes on. What are you doing? And like, I think just that like amount of detail in just every conversation. Yeah, it's not like some like crazy tree that you're going down with all these different paths, but yeah, it is very just reactive to whatever you're doing in the game. And if it's raining outside, they're going to say something about the rain or something like that. It's pretty crazy how someone could put so much time in just like one person's dialogue.
I think honestly you could almost make the argument that having those 4 options detracts from the game because sometimes the 4 options aren't even good enough, right?
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
And not only that, but it takes time. When I talk to my friends and they talk about why they don't like a game like The Witcher or Skyrim,
talking about like Fallout and stuff with
Fallout, especially Fallout,
dialogue options.
It's like, dude, I'm spending 3 hours playing this game, and 2.5 of it's just scrolling through dialogue options. I want to shoot something. I want to meet new people. I want to explore new territories, right?
Yeah.
And I think because Zelda has this style, I don't know what you'd call it necessarily, where Link really doesn't say anything. It gets you. I feel like you're gaming more. I know that sounds weird, but feel like you're able to play
Get
more.
that game sesh, bro. Right?
Yeah.
Get that game sesh, dude. You got to max it out, man.
Max out that sesh.
I feel like it's because the developers don't have to, since they don't have to come up with genericized lines for the NPCs, that each character you run into feels like it has its own story and
Purpose.
history and a character and heart and stuff, where it's not just, oh, that guy clearly is like selling bullets or something. And
Right.
No, yeah, and Zelda games have always done that.
Yeah.
They've always been good with that, is making really interesting side characters and NPCs.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the, and I guess the one, I totally forgot about that meme for a while, the Zoro. The really handsome Zoro.
Prince Sidon.
Prince Sidon.
So sexy.
He's a cutie, right?
Those teeth.
He's got all the teeth. He's got that pose where he's like, "Hey guys." Yeah.
I like his voice.
Yeah.
His
Yeah,
voice
the
is- I think
voice
it's the-
acting was kind of iffy. with
The
whole thing,
the
but
mouths were clearly synced to Japanese
yeah.
words and stuff, but there were times where it lined up fine. I was just happy to have voice acting.
Yeah, it was interesting.
all.
They kind of did half and half though. And I didn't
totally.
yeah.
No doubt. They definitely didn't go all in on that.
No, they
'cause
did not.
It'll just eventually just be like, ho ho!
Yeah.
Oh. And some of those sound so sexual. Like when you're talking to the Great Fairy, she just goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh."
Great Fairy has never not been disturbing.
Yeah. Although I love Beatles.
Beatles great.
Thank you.
He's the best.
Hey.
Beatles
the
the
merchant
best.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
He was in Wind Waker.
He was. I
He'd
think
follow
he
you around.
came from Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Never played Wind Waker.
You never played Wind
You
Waker?
never played Wind Waker?
Never played it.
That might be my favorite.
That's
All time.
I
one of
need to
yeah.
play it,
So-
but yeah.
I guess Zelda teaches us you don't need to necessarily have dialogue to have good dialogue.
Sure.
Thanks, thanks, Zelda.
Well,
Thanks,
I think
Zelda.
it makes you focus more on the story too.
Right, right.
Like what
Yeah.
they're talking to you, a better
relationships,
listener, I guess,
environment,
rather
all
than-
that stuff.
yeah.
Well, let's kind of talk about the story because there's a very sparse story, but it serves its purpose very well, I think.
Yeah.
Like there's really not much of a story like, Skyward Sword. It's kind of the antithesis of Skyward Sword, where Skyward Sword was extremely story
Instead
heavy.
of a very intricate, in-depth story, which I
Yes.
really liked. I enjoyed the story
I
a
enjoyed
lot.
the story. There were some things about this isn't the Skyward Sword podcast, but I mean, I didn't even hate the motion controls. It was so linear.
Yeah.
And
Turn those
that's-
off, man. I hate motion controls.
Well,
dude.
that you can.
When I'm
That's
trying
what
to-
it was designed
Oh, you
for.
had to.
Yeah.
Oof.
For Skyward Sword. I didn't hate it, but it
God.
it was
You
the
have to be
problems
so
with
steady.
the problems with Skyward Sword was it was so repetitive and it was so small.
Mhm.
Just everything was small. You went to the same place 3 times. The overworld, the Skyloft was really small, and then just you repeated things all the time, like the spirit realms. I hated those. Hated the spirit realms.
That's like
But-
with Phantom Hourglass,
Mhm.
where you had to keep going back to
Yeah.
that really tough dungeon, and then in Spirit Tracks, they did it to where once you finished one level, you could just go on to the next one,
Yeah.
which was nice.
So yeah, but Skyward Sword kind of did away with all that, and it's extremely open to the point where you can do whatever you want. Except for like the first 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
You're
they
kind
definitely
of,
guide you.
yeah, you're guided, but you can still go anywhere on that plateau. Then once you're off, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I think the story though serves its purpose very well. I think it's an interesting story. I think it's cool as
Mhm.
far as Link's trying to remember what. I guess we can kind of go into spoilers, or
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while.
We haven't even finished it. We can't
Yeah.
spoil that much.
Yeah, we can't spoil the ending.
It's true.
So I mean, he's kind of trying to figure out what happened. He's been asleep for 100 years. He's trying, and the NPCs he has to prove to a lot of people who he is,
Right.
because some people don't believe he's who he is, the hero of time, and so he's kind of having to prove himself. And it also does the thing where there's always jokes where a lot of games are like, oh, go find the girl or go find your son, and then it's a picture of them fishing. But with Zelda, it seems like, or Breath of the Wild, it seems like everything you do in that game is helping you to defeat Ganon, because the first mission you get is defeat Ganon, and everything you do is helping you on that quest to defeat Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really cool way to kind of do that story.
Yeah, that's one of my few complaints with the game. The story did feel a little sparse. I love rich story in my games.
But I don't think Zelda needs a rich story.
Yeah, and that's why it still works.
Yeah.
I know it sounds cliche, but you make your own story in this.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily even have to make your own story. It gives you this amazing, huge world and just says, hey, there's this thing you can do, but if you don't feel like doing it, there's plenty of other stuff for you to do. And there's other stories you get to get into.
Yeah.
And
the side stories are usually the best stories.
Yeah.
You know,
We all know, guys, a lack of story means a surplus of DLC.
that's true.
Well, there is a
You
DLC
have
story,
2
right?
DLCs
Which just got
coming.
announced in the last week or two, and has been getting a pretty good amount of hype.
Yeah.
You don't like the Majora's Mask?
Oh yeah, that stuff's cool.
Yeah, the story DLC's coming in.
Well, they didn't
Holiday.
really
Yeah,
they
they
didn't
haven't
tease
announced
that. They
Holiday.
didn't tease that too much.
Hmm.
And the fact that it's coming so late after launch, it makes me think that this could be, this could be a pretty good little expansion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Trey skeptical.
I think no. I thought you were gonna say that the Zelda would just sort of be like a platform. But it will be. Yeah,
no.
yeah. Like
This is an expansion.
kind
This
of like
isn't Zelda 2.
The
No,
Witcher
no.
with like Blood and Wine. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure.
What'd you think about the story, Zach? How'd you like all that?
No, I like it a lot. It doesn't like, I guess one of the best stories, like I was saying earlier, A Link Between Worlds.
Mhm.
That was personally, like, even though I was reading everything and it was on a 3DS, like that was one of the heaviest ones for me. But this one, it's still enough to keep me going, obviously. But I still feel like it kind of resonates well with how Link's feeling. Link doesn't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. And even in the end, yeah, like, I know Link will kind of figure out what everything that happens and what everything was leading to and all that stuff. But he's still going to have those pieces that are going to be left unanswered. And I think that's kind of what the writers were trying to do in some sense, like to make you kind of feel like Link in a sense, to where he doesn't know what's going on like 100%, but you don't either. And I think they did a good job with that, and that kind of answers some of these questions of like, yeah, the story, it's there, but it's missing a few things, or it wasn't as potent as like we wanted it to be. But I don't know.
It fits with the story world because it takes place after a huge calamity, and Hyrule is like shattered and kind of empty, just kind of like Link's head, and you have to basically fill it in.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say empty. I think people were really scared that the world would be empty, but man, it's really like there is so many nooks and crannies.
Yeah.
I remember watching a friend stream, Steve Hobo streaming, a friend of mine, and plug, yeah. And I remember him he was going to these places. I'm like, man, I've not been there, and I've covered the whole map.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you're going to places I've never been.
Well, speaking of the DLC, that's actually going to be one of the improvements they're making is the ability to better identify, and I think even fast travel, which I know we just kind of shit on a little bit earlier, but
Well, I think there's only one fast travel point.
okay,
Right? Yeah.
You can change it. It's like
You
a
can
coin
cha-
you put on
yeah.
the ground.
yeah.
yeah, you get one special spot where if it's you don't have the shrine marked or
Yeah.
a tower there, you can pop it and
Yeah.
put a fast travel there, which I think is pretty
pop
good.
that.
But
I
the
like
ability to
fast travel
identify
forever.
and kind of have a better eye sense, because you could play for 150 hours and you probably still
No,
wouldn't
you won't
go
see everything.
everywhere. And the thing that's so cool, and we talked about this earlier, is the vertical element in Zelda.
Yeah.
So you've already got this massive landscape, and it doubles, if not triples or quadruples, when you take the vertical element into play.
Mm-hmm.
So from that standpoint, you could play for hours on end and still not explore 75, 80, even 90% of what's out there.
Because every little area feels so rich. Like, even if you just go to a big empty rock in like the middle of the desert, I still want to go around the whole thing and like look in every little corner and crevasse instead of just like in older games it was like, oh, okay, this is just set dressing. Obviously, I'm not going to pay much attention to this, but there could be anything in any point in any piece of the
What's the little desert mini boss called? The Beluga, or I forget what it's called.
Molduga.
The Molduga. That's another part I love. We talk about like a lack of story. Where there's a lack of story, I think Zelda makes up for it with these little mini bosses you can come across at any point that you get nice loot or rewards from. I think that's
every episode, every single time.
Have you guys fought a Lionel yet?
Oh no,
I've tried,
dude.
is
That thing charged me
That's
from
the
100
centaur?
yards away in
Yeah.
a second, and I was dead.
That
done.
was the first boss I came across with like
Oh,
3
no.
hearts, and then I just I tried for a good hour. And I was like,
Same here.
fuck this. Nope. Like,
I'm at the end and
uh,
I have like 14, 15 hearts and I still can't do it. Like I was at the damn.
I'm showing everyone my first encounter with a Lionel.
That's a good shot.
And it's sprinting at me with a rainbow over its head and a sword raised at me.
Rainbow Road. That's where you'll go.
Yeah, like I'm in the castle right now, and
Oh, that's a really good shot, actually.
I've got a lot
That's
of
actual
equipment.
That's actual gameplay. I apologize, but that's
No, it's all good.
actual gameplay. That wasn't a. It looks like it's a. Sorry, it looks like it's almost like a cinematic.
Yeah.
But that's so cool too. Is the screenshots, but that's a whole nother part.
I've taken so many.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm in the castle, and I dropped down into this little like room, and two of these huge doors shut, and a Lionel just appeared in front of me, and there's like there's like
GG.
10 feet to run on either side, and I died immediately.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really liked about this game a lot was how unforgiving it was.
Yeah. The
Mhm.
the combat's amazing. You see so many videos, and thanks for bringing that up. I was trying to figure out a way to transition to that. You see so many videos of people fighting, enemies in so many unique and different ways.
Mhm.
My favorite is the dude who takes the boulder
Mm-hmm.
and he uses magnesis.
Yeah.
That's all he does is just dodge, roll on the Lionel as it attacks, and then he picks up the rock and just picks it up and just smashes him over the head with it. Never fires a shot, and he does it in his underwear. I'm pretty sure this guy does, who never even takes a hit. If you can
I've
check
seen
it
a lot
out,
of
I'd
those
look
runs.
for that one.
Just the naked runs. You don't wear any of the armor or anything.
Yeah, I like how much strategy can go into the combat
Yeah.
because there are hundreds of different weapons and bows and shield combinations you can
The
use.
parries
and
too.
You've got this guy's weak to fire, so I've got like a fire spear to get him and knock him down on the ground. Then I can switch to the master sword and slash him, and then jump up and shoot it. It's like it adds a whole new element, and I think everybody has a different weapon style, a different play style.
Yeah.
Like, I like to keep a lot of bows,
Yeah.
bow and arrows, and just a few melee weapons, and the range of weapons is just.
Yeah, there's
Cool.
so many, and they do a good job of incentivizing use because most Zelda games you get a green tunic. You may use the red and blue tunic for certain situations. You have the Master Sword. Once you get the Master Sword, you're not going to really use anything else unless you have to. And then you have your Hylian Shield. Now, there's the Hylian Shield and Master Sword, but the Master Sword, you can only use it on Guardians and Ganon, right?
No, you can use it on everything.
Well, you can use it on everything, but it's going to wear out.
Yeah.
So, like, it will wear out eventually.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't want to knock down trees with your Master Sword.
Yeah. And the Hylian Shield, I think, is just permanently good.
And it's cool because there are some enemies that the Master Sword is not going to be the ideal weapon for that, and so it incentivizes you to have a diverse array of weapons.
And I do like the breakage
Yeah, me
because
too.
it makes you play with other weapons. And sometimes, like very early on, you feel like I don't have anything.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, that
eventually you
was
get a
one of the biggest problems at the beginning of the game. I was just like, shit, like I don't have like.
Keep running
Yeah,
out of
I've
swords.
went to both spots where the inventory guy is supposed to be, and he hasn't been there. So
have
Oh
you-
yeah, I can't find
Dude,
him. I found him
I'm
the
stuck
very
at the-
beginning.
yeah,
and
that's
I've
it.
Never
Yeah.
found
yeah,
him
I
again.
me to
got
tell
one
you?
inventory upgrade, and that was it.
I can tell you where he is. If
Where
you
is
want.
he?
He's in the.
I almost
forest.
wish I
So,
I need to
look,
bring my
I
Switch.
There's like
and-
1,000 for it.
Well, he's in the
The-
Korok Forest. He
yeah.
goes back home.
Yeah, I've been trying to get through the whole Korok thing. It's tough.
Through
'Cause
the
it keeps
Lost Woods.
bringing- the Lost Woods.
Mhm.
I mean, I got the
Definitely
sword,
needed
but
the
after
guide for
that,
that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Have you not got the Lost Woods?
No, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was just openly admitting that I used a guide on YouTube. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
there's some things where I use guides because I just feel like, okay, well, look, I got other things to play and do that I can't. That's the thing is, I don't think with Zelda, there's not
There's
that
no
much shame in
Yeah, there's
using
no
guides.
shame. That's-
I try to make sure I'm doing most everything on my own, but sometimes I'll just be like, okay, I'm wasting a lot of time trying to figure this out.
I've only
Need a
used the
hint.
guide once, and it was to get some boots from this guy who would not give them to me, and
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I think it's okay, especially like I've used them for boss battles just
Mhm.
because like you just keep dying and you're just like screw like I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
wasting so much time and there's so much energy on this, and it's just kind of like I don't even know what this like boss is weak against or anything like that. So if you just tell me that, then I can like
Yeah.
do everything else. I don't feel like it's cheating in the sense of
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm gonna put some cheat codes in. I'm gonna have this extra.
Yeah, dude, it's not like
super
you didn't just plug in the
strong
Game Shark.
sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
People have different thresholds, I guess, for what they want to do and what they don't
Mhm.
want to do. Like, I kind of want to have a topic next time we do a regular podcast about
Cheating.
easy. Well, we can talk about cheating, but we can also talk about like I guess just like using guides and putting games on easy, because recently with Horizon I put it on easy just to it was getting tough. And have you played Horizon, Zach?
I've not. No.
Okay. Have you played Horizon?
I need to check it out.
It's really
only watched
good
it on Twitch.
But I kept dying, and I'm like, I have this and Nier and all these other things to do and videos to make. I'm really enjoying the game, but I'm dying. I'm gonna put this on easy, and I just want to get through it. Yeah.
I'm a hard guy. I don't know. I got to do hard. Like I tried to.
Yeah,
play...
I understand that. I understand it. I mean, it's the way you should play games, but I think it's just my whole anxiety of I have so much shit to do that I'm just
you would have loved the original Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played that.
Oh,
like
my brother did, and was playing that on easy.
Oh God.
Speaking of being unforgiving, one thing I like about the game is, this is gonna sound bad, but you can kill the animals. Like Civ 6 just came out, and units on horses or like the scouts have dogs, and when you kill the units, the horses run away. They're safe. Don't worry and stuff. But like, you'll be fighting a moblin.
Well, you can't kill the dog. Dogs in this.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like everything else out in the wild.
Trey's tried plenty of times.
Like the horses that you ride.
Yeah.
You can.
We've all tried.
Like, if you're fighting a bokoblin on a horse and you knock it off and then you slice the horse dies. And I think that's good and realistic.
You get the horse meat too, don't you?
Especially for a Nintendo game.
And like I've gotten so attached to my horse, and it's died twice. And like,
see, I've been on a horse a few
soft
times,
reset?
a handful of times.
Oh, I'm never without my horse.
You soft
I feel
reset?
like it's so.
No. There's a Great Fairy that'll bring your horse.
Yeah. You got to pay a lot of money, but they will.
I feel like it's so. The horses are really inconvenient. Like I've used them kind of at the beginning to get around, but like you have to go back to the stable and you got to get it back. Like I'm glad that if your horse was far away and you want that horse again, you can get it. But I still think it's pretty like. I liked it. I guess with like Ocarina of Time, where it's like, okay, you just whistle or play your your ocarina, and it's like.
Well, even Red Dead Redemption, I think. Did the best where you just whistle and a horse would come to you.
Yeah.
And I think the horse riding in Red Dead was really good too. It was really well done. I don't think the horse controls in this are that great.
I like them because they're kind of tough. It's kind of realistic. Like you just pull the reins a little bit to the right, and the horse is gonna make a slow turn. If you never fast travel, your horse is always with you. So Pooh-Bah, my horse, is always like wherever I am, and I hop off and go do a mountain and run back and get back on the main road, and I can get across the map like that because I've maxed him out and everything.
All right.
So sad when he dies.
So sad.
I left him out in the rain. He got struck by lightning one time.
You lose a horse.
That'd be a
can't
good
even go
screenshot.
into shelter when there's lightning. So sad.
Right.
We got them both out of the way.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Got him. Yes. Anyway, let's talk about the dungeons and the trials, or I guess what are they called?
Shrines. Right?
Shrines.
Love the shrines.
We could talk about have you guys done any of the trials?
Trials.
No, there's like
what
the
do you
light
mean?
trials.
Yes,
and,
the trials are probably some of the most. I think it's not
the combat
the most
trials?
creative, but it's just pure combat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like those because
in the shrines, right?
No. There's different.
No, they're in the shrines.
They are 4 shrines. They're like the one, because they'll have
major
shrines.
test of strength.
Major
test of
No,
strength.
no. There are other ones.
Oh, okay.
They're because there's a lot of different missions you could do that are shrine quests, but they don't necessarily have a. There's some where you can.
Okay, it's the shrine side quest where you don't just get to pop into the shrine; you have to activate it.
There are a few where you have to get some dragon scales.
Sure.
And then I haven't done any of them, but you have to get dragon scales. You have to put them on like one of the goddesses, and you have to go through like a
those are fun.
a test
where you're rewarded. Well, you walk into the shrine, the only thing there is the exit. Yeah.
Oh, and I guess we'll talk about the shrines. Have you done Everset Island yet?
Yes.
No. What's
Yeah.
that?
Yes, you get
know what
stripped
that
of
is.
all your clothes. You got to go find. Dude, that was one of the most. See, those are just one of the, totally unexpected things. I was almost a little pissed off when I was like, damn it, dude, I wanted to get in and out and go, fight this next divine beast. But what this island does, spoiler alert, is when you come up on it, a mysterious orb appears over your mist, and it notifies you that it's taken all of your gear, all of your clothing, and you're completely stripped naked. And the only way to get it back is to find 3 orbs on the island and put them in the, the little, what do you call it? Well, the box or whatever it is. And there's what's the one-eyed monster?
Moblin.
There's a-
I don't know what
the
King Moblin guy. The big old
huge fucking ogre.
Hinox?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
Hinox.
Hinox. There's a
Yeah,
Hinox
Hinox.
on the island. There's a ton of different bad guys. There's a cool mini quest where you can use your paraglider to collect coins. It's this whole island
Is
has.
this in the east?
Yeah, it is the
It's at the farthest
west.
farthest corner of the southwest. And the island itself is almost like its own little mini game. I mean, I went from being really pissed because I knew it was going to take me extra time to get out to fully enjoying all the extra time I spent there to get off the island. Because
you're stripped of all your weapons. You're just using, what you've learned and
stuff.
and
it's like Minecraft.
It's almost like it feels like you're starting back on the first plateau, and you got to pick here I am again. I got 15 hearts, and I'm using a tree branch again as my main weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's part of the game, like we said earlier. It's kind of Link, kind of trying to figure everything out and piece everything back together and rebuild this kind of sense of a hero. And that little island does a great job at kind of being like a little representation of the greater whole.
Yeah, I don't think I've run into a shrine yet that I just like didn't enjoy. Like there are some that I like, I breezed through that, but they're all
really short.
Yeah.
How many are there?
There
There
are
are some of the motion control ones.
120.
Those were a little clunky sometimes.
Yeah.
I think I saw a video beforehand or a GIF where the guy just flipped it over and
I
hit
saw
it.
that,
I
yeah.
just did that.
a GIF.
A GIF.
Oh,
a GIF. A
okay.
GIF.
All right. I
Yeah,
didn't know.
I didn't know
We're not having this debate.
It's a GIF, guys.
On this podcast.
It's graphics interchange format, not
GIF.
graphics.
I think it's with a Q. I think it's like queef. or
Zach with
something.
the Q. Yeah, it's GIF with a Q. It's
Oof.
Queef.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the
queef.
addition of the shrines. It's,
Yeah.
because there's going to be one near you, but not just like there's not too many.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's about 120, and a lot of those are like you'll get a side mission, and that's a shrine quest. So you have to kind of do different things to.
Are any of you guys full completionists here that just have to do 120 out of 120, or collect all the stars?
I
or-
want to. But
Yeah, I'd like to.
I don't know if it's
a lot
gonna
of
happen.
work.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few years.
Yeah.
I've got like 55, I think, right now, and I've played for 95 hours.
I got about 60 something of them. Yeah,
I don't remember how many.
maybe 70. I don't know.
But my first thing was like I'd go to all the towers to unlock.
Yeah,
like,
that was my first.
all
thing.
the things of the map, and then you would just see this shrine in the distance. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna mark that. Like
Yeah.
I would run out of those markers like so quickly.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, I'm gonna go there, and then I'm gonna go to this shrine, and then that one, and then I'm gonna go to that tower, and it's like, oh, I see another shrine. I'm gonna go to that one too, and then I don't know. It gets pretty.
It's
pretty
like
crazy.
heroin. They give you like that little bump,
Yeah.
like right when you need it.
See that
Yeah.
orange glow off in the distance in the rain, and you just
Like,
Ooh.
like a fly in the light. You just
Then
go right to it.
after a while, you can't find any shrines. Like I'm having trouble
Ugh.
finding shrines now.
Do you
Me
have
too.
the little thing turned on, the radar?
Yeah, I have the radar.
I
turned
think
on.
that gets annoying to me, man. It's like it's so I don't know. It's loud and it's obnoxious.
If you
I don't
stay
know. It's just,
still, right? Like it goes away or something like
Yeah,
that.
because
Okay,
if you're
jeez.
traveling in the direction of the shrine, it'll beep the loudest, and if
Yeah.
you like veer off course, it'll start to get smaller.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I already know it's there and it's bleeping. That's probably the most frustrated I get. I'm like, I know, I see it.
I
I'm
think
going
there's
towards
a
it.
setting that you
Shut
can
up.
turn it off.
Yeah,
if
you
do.
can turn it off,
Oh, okay.
and you
Okay.
can change it to other things. So if you've taken a picture
I've
of
seen
something,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
I haven't done much of that.
I haven't
But I
done
guess
that
it's-
either.
yeah.
I've done it a couple times when I've needed like a specific ingredient or
Yeah.
something, and if I've taken a picture of it, I'll turn it on. But I
Mhm.
usually keep it on shrine.
Yeah.
You guys take a lot of screenshots?
I
I
haven't.
don't at all.
I've
No,
taken
but I need
probably
to,
like
yeah.
a 200.
I've accidentally
too.
hit the button wondering what it was before.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've done that too. It's
when
really
I
weird.
first started playing, I almost made like the screenshot a part of the gameplay where
Yeah.
I was trying to I was inner battling. Like I have some really cool screenshots where I'm probably shouldn't be taking a screenshot, but I did
See,
it anyways.
I
And there's some
wish-
really cool shots. Really cool.
I wish they would implement because on PlayStation, some of the first-party PlayStation games like Uncharted 4 and Horizon have a photo mode where you can. And I've posted. I did a lot of them.
I've seen some of your pictures.
Yeah, on Uncharted and Horizon, and I think I think I would be more inclined to play with the photos on there if you could actually go in and angle it and then put filters on and change like the
That's cool.
like the depth of field, and you could like play with the
pretty cool.
time. Like with the Horizon one, you could play with the time. You can play with the character stance. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with that.
Is that a Horizon thing or is that a PlayStation
It's a
thing?
Well, I think it's a PlayStation first party thing because I think Uncharted 4 had it, Last of Us had it.
So that's a system function?
I think it's by game.
Okay.
I want to say. I know there is a sharing button, but as far as like going in photo mode, I think it's just per game.
Okay.
But it's PlayStation's like first party games that do it. I mean, I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure there's other games that do that. But
That would be cool.
I just know that only 3 of them as of now. Because I would love that for Zelda because it's beautiful. I'd
Yeah.
love to maybe do different angles, do different times, and so you get like a sunset just right. And
Yes.
Pose
Next time you
link,
play,
yeah.
just think, don't put screenshots at the top of your mind, but
Sure,
somewhere in
yeah.
the top 5, and
Mhm.
and you'll find yourself enjoying it. Like I said, it's just there's so much to the game, and it's weird to say that screenshots are a part of it, but I've
No, it's
taken
beautiful.
some that really make me happy that
They've
I decided to take it.
when they were talking about the game, they mentioned that they put a bunch of cliffs and places plateaus where you could look and just see the distance, and so no, they've definitely encouraged that.
The coolest
that
part
game.
is some of the best shots I've gotten is where you climb and you angle Link to where you can't see Link, but you can
Yeah.
see off into the distance.
Mhm.
I mean, there's some really, really neat shots out there from just all the different ways you can manipulate Link to get a really cool shot. But
I like to paint scenery, and so when I'm playing, I'll see like, oh, that's a really cool shot. Like I can use that to kind of practice,
Mhm.
or like, oh, I didn't know what mountains looked like at this angle. And
Yeah.
so I'll take screenshots so I can go back and look at them and
Mhm.
kind of study them for painting.
All right, that's cool. I didn't know you do that.
Yeah.
Do so many things, Austin.
Oh, nice.
You're so full of mysteries.
Sweet shots here.
Sweet shots.
I told you, I'm showing. I just showed the. I'll pass that around, but it's just one of the examples that you can really, you can. There's just different things you can do with the camera, and like I said, it's just
They
there's
set them up like paintings.
feels like there's so many different mini games, man, that you just don't really think about it like that. But
So I guess we've been talking about the positive. What are some maybe issues you guys have with the game, and what could they improve on?
My
maybe with
main
the next
beef
one.
is the same 5 enemies over and over and over.
Mhm.
Because Zelda games usually have a big wealth of characters and enemies and
Yeah.
stuff to fight, but it's Bokoblins, Moblins, Choo-Choos, Wizrobes, and Lizalfos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, no matter what encampment you go to or something,
environment,
and after a while you go like, oh, I know what's going to be here. I know
Mhm.
how to fight
But they
it.
do go up in difficulty too as
Yeah.
you progress through the game.
That
Like
is
it'll be
nice.
like a purple one or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
but like for like even like where it's the snowy mountains, there's really no like abominable beast. There's
Yeah.
like there's no appropriate.
I guess true. Like that like caters to that,
That
region.
yeah,
Since
that's-
there are so region specific. That makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. You would because it looks like you said it kind of looks like the developers need a little help in coming up with some new antagonists because there's just not enough, right?
Mhm.
You end up fighting the same guys over and over, and if you just did region specific, there's 4 or 5 that you could do there alone.
Yeah, because
so.
there's like, you can fight the regular Talus, and then there's like the Frost Talus and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's still the same fight.
And
basically.
they're the boss design. Like I think the bosses in Zelda games are so cool, and
Mhm.
the way they did it with this, with the 4 the
blights.
4 beasts.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really have many cool bosses.
Yeah,
I
the
thought that was
coolest
lacking.
bosses were out in the world, like
Yeah.
the Lynels and the
Mold.
Hinox and stuff.
Yeah.
Those were more enjoyable, I think, than the Divine Beast bosses.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
But
And I thought I would have liked more like dungeons within the world.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
didn't,
Those are the divine beasts
but they're not.
in this game, I guess.
Yeah, but I liked coming upon a dungeon. Like
Yeah.
when I played
Okay.
Skyrim,
The
I
aha
liked,
moment.
yeah, coming
Yeah.
upon a big dungeon, coming upon a big area.
there's a couple of those, like with the labyrinths,
Yeah,
and I just wish there
Sure.
were more of those kind of in the world.
yeah,
like
me
I see what
too.
you're
Yeah,
saying.
Well, I think that's where it goes with the island that we. I forgot
Yeah,
the name
yeah,
of the island.
Sunset
That
Island,
kind
yeah.
of it's a little bit like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Zach.
Things I don't like about it, or
Yeah, what do you hate? What do you
what-
fucking hate?
a lot of stuff took a lot of extra time that I didn't want to fucking deal with.
Mhm.
Like for instance, I was doing one in Divine Beast the other day, and it was the one in I forgot the name of it, but it was the Gerudo.
Yeah, I just did that one. Yeah.
When you have to wait for the fucking
Yeah.
like thing to spin around, like that is just so time consuming. And if you screwed up, guess what? You have to wait for another whole rotation.
Yeah.
It
and
starts to feel like a
goes
guessing game.
So slow, yeah.
Yeah, and I was having
And-
trouble with that too. I didn't exactly know what to do.
Yeah, same thing with the water one as well, and Zora's Domain,
Mhm.
and yeah, a lot of it was just like a lot of unnecessary time of you just sitting there waiting for some like mechanism to move, and it's going like a mile an hour, and you're just kind of like, all right. Or even some of the cutscenes. Like I remember, I didn't like how you couldn't skip a cutscene if you've already watched it.
Yeah.
Because I messed up twice when I had to shoot the bombs at the kind of like the camel-y looking one in
Mhm.
the desert. I was having trouble staying within her little like
Yeah, that was
bubble
tough.
thing, And so I'd get struck by lightning, and then it sends you all the way back because you can't save it. You have to sends you all the way back to the little like watchtower.
And it's a pretty significant cutscene too.
And you got to go climb all the way up the watchtower, talk to her, talk through all that. Then it's like, all right, let's go to the sand sills. Okay, then you go to the sand sills. Then it's like a whole nother cutscene, and then you got to just keep hitting A, and then eventually, then you have to ride all the way back out to the Divine Beast. And I was just like, this is like wasting at least like an hour of my time just having to repeat this. When like, okay, why wouldn't it just start me right next to the boss again?
Yeah, that's an annoyance I have with a lot. Like I was playing Resident Evil 7 again, and there was this cutscene, and I kept dying at this boss battle. I kept having to see the cutscene, and the thing too about the cutscene was kind of gruesome. So I was like, I gotta see that again. All right.
You get desensitized though.
Yeah, I think you do.
And you become a serial killer.
I know, that's true. That's how it happens. Yeah, I think though the boss. I wish that the bosses were more interesting, and I wish that I think there are more dungeons within the world. Like I really like the shrines, but man, I kind of wish they were more. And there are some shrines. I mean, I think half the shrines are in the world, but I wish more of them were kind of. I don't know though. It was kind of cool though what you're talking about, to see one in the distance, and there you go. So,
yeah, and you can walk up to it anytime. That is the cool thing.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Like another like issue I have, I guess, is like a little off topic. It's more of like the incentive for beating monsters or just defeating them, like killing them, like on the way. There is no incentive.
Yeah,
it's like
you're right.
You get the same.
You get the same crappy thing. Like you're never gonna get a good weapon. You're never gonna get. Yeah, there's nothing like that. So that's one of the reasons why I do fast travel, because I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, and you're just gonna waste your weapon. You're gonna break a weapon or damage it, and you're gonna lose arrows, and you're not gonna have enough for what you're wanting to do. So yeah, definitely, especially when you're higher up. I think that's something they need to work on too. Definitely.
Yeah, because when I first started playing the game, I thought monster parts were gonna be like, I'm gonna need a lot of this, and I've barely used any because I don't make elixirs that much.
Yeah, I thought you had like a set inventory, like you could only carry so much, or you're gonna be like.
Well, they're great to sell. A great way to add up your.
Yeah.
Cash in.
I've been selling a bunch of my monster parts.
I know you really only need like 25, 20
your gear and stuff,
one at a time. I mean, I've got upwards of like almost 100. You don't need that many.
Have you been to the monster shop though? There's like a guy.
Once. I don't know what does the monster bucks do though.
Then you can buy stuff from him. So there's like a guy who trades you. He has his own currency he uses at his shop. He travels around.
Oh, he does.
And he only appears at night in like certain regions, and he sells
spooky.
monsters. Yeah. And so you trade him monster parts like a ton, and then he gives you his currency, and then you can buy stuff that he's made.
What
from
like
him.
Kind of stuff is he?
He's got
selling?
weapons and gear and all sorts of monster gear and stuff. I bought a spring-loaded hammer, and it has attack power of 1. But when you hit someone 4 times consecutively, it like sends them flying. And so it's like wacky stuff.
It's a mash. It's a monster mash.
Monster mash.
So I guess.
Well, I've got a couple more points. I want to mention. Just
definitely
some commendations.
Let's do this.
My number one favorite thing with the whole thing is the seamless entry into the buildings. That's something I dreamed of.
That was really awesome.
Since I was a kid, and like the first time. Because I get used to games where it's like, okay, I'm walking up to a building, press A, set the controller down for a few seconds, and get a break. But he just opens the door and everything's right there, and it's incredible. And I'm still not used to it. I still anticipate going through a door and having to wait for the whole thing to load for a minute.
You have to spend a little like trinket around and read some text.
A little spinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's very few times where you actually have to load anything. It's like when you go to a divine beast or when you go to a shrine. Basically it. The physics engine is great. There's so much interactable stuff.
You were given 5 weapons at the beginning, right? 5 or 4? You're given the bombs. You're given
you get 5.
The magnesis.
Like, I don't even know what they're called.
You're given the time stop.
It's 3, right?
Well,
you got 2 bombs. You
got bombs.
The freezing
you only
thing,
start with
one
bomb.
Magnesis.
You only start with 1 bomb. You have to unlock.
Right. Yeah, but you're given those 4 weapons, and pretty much you're set.
Yeah.
For the rest of the game, you can do anything. You can, like, anytime you go into a shrine, you don't need anything but those 4 weapons, and you just got to figure it out. And there's so many different ways that you can use those to get to where you want to go and just, surpass certain things. And
it's fun to stack them.
Yeah.
Where you freeze an enemy and then throw a bomb on them.
Yeah.
That's always feels so satisfying.
It's it's a really cool how it does that, because that's sort of what they played with Link Between Worlds, was you could kind of buy these weapons and you could use them whenever, wherever. And with this is you're given everything. And I think there's a give and take. You know, you don't get the hook shot, you don't get certain cool like signature Zelda weapons.
You get a boomerang.
You do, but for the most part, I think it's a really cool idea, because you can tackle any situation with those weapons.
Yeah, I just love how all the objects interact with everything else. Like, because normally I'm used to in a Zelda game, pick up a rock, you throw it, it's going to turn into dust. But like, you can be on top of a mountain and toss a rock over and watch it go the whole way down. Or a tree will fall over and roll and knock another tree over, and then they'll roll down a hill, and everything feels like
you could take a log and like sail it down with your wind.
One of my favorites was the at the very beginning where you have to chop the tree down and almost angle it to where it falls down to create a bridge.
Yeah,
you know, I mean that's stuff like that just adds a whole another layer to the
and I've
to
seen
the game.
Videos of people stacking rocks and objects in the world and doing trick shots with them.
Yeah, there's people who through magnesis can fly. Now, they stacked two carts together and flew through the world. There's people that can you can ski on your shield. Yeah, just so much stuff you can do. And it's so fun to look at videos of people doing weird, crazy stuff in that game. Like, there's so many videos out there of people doing tricks and
like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so much you can do.
There's no wrong or right way to play.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's cool.
And you could tackle any shrine or any mission any kind of way you want.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. The game isn't like, hey, you need to try to do it this way.
Yeah.
Don't try. It's like, if you figured some other way out, fuck it. You can bypass this whole thing. If you're clever enough to launch yourself over a thing, we'll reward you for it.
There are no best practices.
Yep. What do you think this does for, I guess, open or games in general going forward? Because I think it's very cliche to say this has changed the game, but I think it kind of has.
It's definitely changed the game for Zelda and Nintendo.
I think it's changed the game for open world games.
Yeah, I think RPG in general.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you have to have some kind of climbing thing in the open world. Certain games now.
Because going back to a game where you bump into a wall and can't climb up it, I don't know if I can do that.
It's so tough to play Horizon after playing Zelda, because I want to just jump on everything. Oh, I can't climb at all in this game. And then I keep hitting like invisible wall, like not invisible walls, but like there's like a stadium I had to go into and I couldn't get through certain areas. And I'm like, why can't I get through this? In Zelda, I could.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
This is a whole nother can of worms, but right now, and this is maybe the PvP in me speaking, but right now there's really no online capabilities for Zelda, and I can't imagine what the game could be like. And I don't know how you do it, because you wouldn't want to have two Links running through the world together, right? Because you lose the emphasis on Link. But if there were a way to involve your friends and get some online play going, I think that could be, because there's so much to build on here. And I think if they could stay true to form and figure out how to do that, I think that could be another evolution of the Zelda franchise. I don't think they do it for Breath of the Wild, but I think for the next one, I wouldn't be surprised if they had online play.
Triforce Heroes was online, I think. No one liked that though.
I never got it because I heard.
Yeah, it was a cool tech demo, pretty much.
Yeah,
that was it.
So
so this was supposed to come out in 2015 initially.
Yeah,
and people were upset at first when they delayed it, but I think this is something Nintendo does well, where they don't play by the American money system.
There are a lot of companies that, Rockstar does it, and they just did it with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, look at BioShock too.
Yeah,
both of those games, especially Infinite, that thing was at least like 2 to 3 years pushed back, and they even came out with an apology letter on the last time. They're like, "Yeah, it's supposed to come out. Okay, we're pushing it 2 more months. Sorry, but like,
to get it right.
Yeah. And like, The Last of Us,
make a great game.
I know they said like they needed. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like either like a week or a month. And they said like that time was the difference between a game that was like a B and a game that was an A. Like a game that was an 8 and a game that was a 10.
Right.
Like, so yeah, I think Shigeru Miyamoto actually once said that a bad game or a delayed game is, can be good, but a bad game is bad forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Zelda, that's why I never get mad at games getting delayed, because it's like, okay,
hey,
take your
keep
time.
working on it.
Now,
please.
There's situations where it's like years and years, and you start worrying.
Last
but,
Guardian.
You get pumped. It's like, come on, I want to play this so bad. But at the same time, like, are you really going to want to play it if it's going to be, like bug breaking?
I think like multiple ones though signifies maybe a very troubled launch, but I think, yeah, if it's delayed like a year, couple years, especially with Nintendo, I think that's just, hey, dude, it's gonna be.
They're gonna make this
no
thing
one's
perfect.
talking about it being delayed. They're just talking about how great Zelda is.
They'll perfect
Yeah.
their art, and it's great every time. There are very few like poor Zelda games.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
except for Skyward Sword. That's fine.
Okay.
Anyway,
Those damn tilt controls.
so yeah.
Speaking of, the motion controls in this are great. I love aiming, and
with the
it's very
arrow.
few. Yeah, when you're aiming an arrow,
Mhm.
like I turned it off for a little bit and tried to do it with this thing, and it's so subtle. It's not
Yeah.
like in Skyward Sword where you'd move it a little bit and he'd bring his arm the whole way back. Like this is, you can real pinpoint your
Okay,
your
I haven't
aiming.
tried that.
All right, I'll try it then.
Yeah, I'll try
Yeah,
that.
it's good. Like you can actually, like I didn't know you could actually do it with the Pro controller too, because I was just playing with the console,
Oh wow,
and I was just like,
Oh, wow.
okay,
I didn't know
like
that.
that's cool. And then I'll try to use the like stick, and it just go like,
Yeah.
it would just like fly over really quickly.
Mhm.
And then I was using the Pro controller, and I saw you do it. And I was like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'll
I
like
didn't know you could
spin
use. I didn't know
around
the
and
Pro
stuff,
had
like,
tilt. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
it has tilt. You could just, I think there's an option to turn it on and off,
Mhm.
but
Oh, yeah.
it's by default it's on. So
Okay, cool.
you may even just, it may be on, but you just go straight to the
I didn't even
joystick.
try. I just turned it off because I've tilt controls in
okay.
other games just they frustrate me so much. Give me the joy. I'm good. I'm okay with the joystick, but I could see where especially because the joysticks and they're not really conducive to like a first person shooter. Like I would
Yeah.
never play a FPS on a Switch because the joysticks are so short. So maybe that's where tilt
And the
controls
It's more of like an
aiming is
accelerometer
kinda
thing
help
rather than
complement
like
it.
a sensor. You're pointing at this or something. Like
and
Yeah,
like
'cause
you
you
said, it's
can-
not as sensitive as other games.
The tilt controls.
Yeah, because like in other games,
Well, it
it's like
is.
you
It's
tilt
like-
it, and it's like you fly.
Well,
but you're-
you have to really just tilt it a little bit.
Yeah,
but
it's very
it's like
subtle. Okay.
it's so nice to just like barely do it because with the joystick you can't get that like precision
Then
sometimes.
so it's
like
got
no
touch.
finesse.
There's touch. There's touch. Okay.
Yeah, so like
touch.
if there's a Los Alphos like darting back and forth, you can real like
Okay.
subtly move your finger and just kind of
That's pretty cool.
move your hands and
Yeah.
aim.
You know what?
really
I'm
well.
gonna go back home. I'm gonna turn on the motion controls. I'm gonna try it out.
You
There
too,
you go.
Trey. I want
Okay.
you to periscope it.
Yeah,
All right, I'll Periscope it. Let's Instagram it.
it does feel a little clunky sometimes when you do have like the whole like when you're playing with the actual like tablet itself.
Yeah.
With
With
Because
the
You got to
screen.
tilt the
Because
screen.
you have
The
to tilt
screen's
the
moving.
screen and you're kind of like
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait. Yeah,
you
you're
know,
now it's a whole
like-
body
like
thing.
lean your
Your
whole
head's,
body back to
yeah.
like
It's like playing Mario Kart on the handheld Switch and using the steering controls, and the whole screen moves. And
yeah.
Mm.
it's
I haven't done
weird.
that.
I haven't tried that either.
I've really just been playing on the screen. I haven't played too much on the TV.
I
That's
haven't
funny.
either.
I'm the same way with
Yeah.
Mario
Yesterday was
Kart.
the first time I played on the
That's
TV.
crazy. I
Yeah.
played probably 80% on the TV.
Crazy.
Mm.
It looks nice.
And you play 80% of Zelda on the handheld, right?
Yeah,
no, I do.
Zach and I play mostly on handheld.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
I
most of
think-
the
yeah.
TV.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I found like a 50-50 balance recently. I love it. I think it's like it's the essence of the Switch is that you can
Play
you
while
play
you
at
shit.
home,
Play-
you can
play it
travel,
your
you
way,
can
yeah.
play it your way.
I can't wait
Now,
to.
now we're just plugging.
No, we are. Yeah. Hey, it's great, man. It's really good. It's really good.
Did you see
Don't regret it
Nintendo's
at all.
shares are
Yeah,
up
they're up.
their highest point in like 7 years or
Yeah.
something?
Good.
That's
They
good.
deserve it, man.
Yeah.
Created some
They do deserve it. I
killer
hope they can
technology
keep
in
it up.
games.
I hope
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey is just as good.
Well, they've got ARMS
And
next
Mario
month.
Party.
Then
ARMS looks so
Splatoon.
sick. You guys doing the demo like this upcoming weekend?
I did not know there was
Wait,
one.
there's
I
demo?
would be
For
on
what?
it.
For which?
ARMS.
Interesting.
Oh, it's
Just
like
download it from
You
the
can download it
store.
right now. Yeah, you just can't like.
It's like the Splatoon,
It won't connect to the servers or anything.
like the
That's-
test fire for
Yeah.
yeah,
Splatoon
it's
they do.
it's global.
I love doing betas, man. I think it's so fun to get in and see what the game's gonna look like.
So I think. So I guess give your rating for Zelda.
9,500 thumbs up
9,500 thumbs up.
out of 10,000 thumbs up.
Okay. What about you, Zach?
I'll definitely give it a
Make it
like
fun.
a 9.
Make
It
it
would
fun.
go probably like a little above a 9. I think there are still some. I mean, personally, for me, an RPG sometimes can be a little overwhelming, and that for me, it causes me to put the game down sometimes, and then like be scared to pick it back up because I'm like, I don't know where the hell I was or what I was doing.
Where did I even
or-
leave off?
Yeah, so I can get a little turned off by that, but still, it is an RPG that like I would, like I did pick it up and I wasn't that lost like after putting it down for about a month or so. So it was
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
you can go a week or two without playing and pick
Yep.
it up, and it's not even like it's been 2 hours.
for sure.
Hunter?
I'll give it a 97. 97 out of 100.
All right.
It's the only perfect game I've ever played is Halo, And like I said, I'm so biased towards PvP, but whatever. It's just below a perfect score for me. There's such little things. If I think about it too much, I'm kind of going, why does it? It doesn't even matter. It is a perfect game, right? It should get a 10.
There's
10
nothing
out of 10,
major.
Yeah, nothing
yeah,
major.
it's also insignificant.
And again,
right?
it's like anything I have complaints about, it's like, well, I hope they can improve on it.
Yeah, it's nothing that's just
Yeah.
like, oh, there's no way.
deal
to fix
breaker.
this.
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
Next time around, just
It's top of the list for game of the year for me. It's an amazing
Yeah.
game, definitely. And I think the thing that most people, our listeners, are probably going to be thinking is this worth to buy a Switch for? Man, I don't know.
Yes.
It just depends. Oh, it depends if you like those kind of games. I think that's what it is.
Or if you played, if you're a Nintendo fan growing up and you played Ocarina of Time, you played Wind Waker, and you're trying to get back into the series, I'd say in that case, yeah, right? I mean,
I think if you're older, like my little brother is 15, and he gave me so much shit for having a Switch. He was just like, Zach, why you have a Switch? It's stupid. There's only like 5 games for it. And I'm like, yeah, but the lineup is like great right now. We got
They're all
Mario
awesome.
Kart, we
Yeah.
got Zelda, like you got some like really good stuff that's coming up. And he just was like, why would you waste your money on that? And I was just like, but he didn't really grow up with Zelda. He didn't really grow up with
That's interesting.
with
The
everything
lore.
like that. But I do think that is like one thing like about Zelda is that I guess anyone could jump into it, but it does cater to more of the older audience.
I get
you
so
know.
much nostalgia when I play. I love it.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing. Like
It's a link to the past.
whoa.
okay, and that's
We
where
should just
we're
end the
done.
podcast right
And
now,
on
right?
that note,
So we should end there, but we got to do a bunch of other stuff. But I mean, not a bunch of other stuff, just, we got to just
Sponsor
wrap it up.
stuff.
housekeeping.
But that was a good ending to the podcast there.
Well, I'm out of here.
No,
Punkcast.
don't leave.
I'm back.
No, yeah, I think, yeah. Well, you know what? We'll stop. No, I won't give my opinion. That was a perfect way to end it. So anyway, this is Super GamesCast 64 on the Blowout Network or Blowout Special. What's coming up, man? Because I'd like to do a Horizon podcast if I ever get a chance to finish that game.
You know who played it?
Who? Nobody?
I'll have Kurt come on.
Hell
you guys
no.
can do a
Hell no.
Trey and Kirk
No.
hate each other.
I don't hate Kirk. I think actually he should
Have
be
you
on our
met
podcast.
him in person?
Yes.
I think Kirk is scared of you.
No, he's fine. I think he might be great. Like he kind of plays as sort of the wild card. I think he should be on our podcast.
Yeah.
He's kind of the wild card guy. He'll say just anything.
We'll have him on for our year anniversary. in
Yeah,
July.
we'll do that. But what was I even saying? I want to do Nier. I definitely want to do Nier. I had Austin Guttery on our last Austin Engler on our last podcast.
Yeah, I
And,
wasn't on that one.
Yeah, you weren't. And he did a really good job. We talked about Nier and a whole bunch of other stuff. And we had a good time.
When are we gonna do our Yoshi's story?
We'll do that on our anniversary. How about
Okay,
that?
Cool.
What have you been playing that you want to? You would like to do stuff on?
Horizon is one I really want to do.
I think we should do a Horizon episode.
We should do Have you been playing Horizon, Zach?
Don't sold PS4.
Okay.
You did?
Yep. I did.
Oh, I know. I want to do a Nier one.
I played a lot of like Prey and.
We could do Prey if I ever eventually play it.
Yeah.
We could probably do that.
I've seen a lot of parallels to, at least in articles, to Zelda. Ironically,
I've seen more Bioshock.
Right, okay.
Or
Yeah,
System
that's
Shock,
kind
yeah.
of
And The Thing. It looks sort of The Thing-ish, John Carpenter-ish.
What if our next big one is an E3 episode?
Well, no. Yeah, we definitely need to do an E3
That could be a
episode.
blowout
that'll
one.
be,
Yeah, that'll be a blowout E3 episode.
What? That's in 2 weeks.
It's up in a bit. So I
Two and a
think
half?
what we have is I think our next episode is going to be sort of an a la carte episode, what we've been doing on our regular channel. If you want to find us regularly, me and Austin, we have guests on every now and then. We are Super GamesCast 64 and Super FilmsCast 64. That's me and Austin's best friend Adam, and he's one of my friends now too. I'd call him a friend. He doesn't like me? No, he's just doing the podcast, right? Just to do it.
He's just using you.
Okay. Well, you can find us just on iTunes and SoundCloud and the whatever the
Internet stuff
other
is.
internet apps are on other phones like Androids.
Just mail us.
Just mail us.
Send us
Blackberries,
Send us a telegram.
Nokias.
And we do an episode every week where we just sort of talk about like certain topics, news of the day, what we've been playing, video game, whatever. And it's fun. We have a fun time. Me and Austin have a lot of fun doing that. But I think next week we'll do an a la carte episode like that. Then the week after that we'll do E3 predictions. We'll talk about E3.
Okay.
And then the week after that we'll do our big E3 podcast on the Blowout Network.
Nice.
I think that's how it's going to work out.
Hey, you know what today is? Speaking of Telegram,
What?
the anniversary of the first ever Telegram.
Oh, happy birthday. You know what else it is? It's Brother Day.
Do you know what it said? The first Telegram
It said,
Hey, bro.
Fuck bitches, get money.
It said, "What hath God wrought?" It's the most badass line
That's
in Telegram
badass.
history.
Yeah. So who uses telegrams?
What did the person who received that telegram and opened it and read it think to themselves?
I think it probably killed them.
They mind
when
fucked
read
Yeah.
it.
for life?
Like in Indiana
Yeah,
Jones,
what
her
were
face
they
melted off.
expecting? Like,
What
oh,
hath God
shit.
wrought?
Especially with such a powerful text.
So, where can we find you, Zach?
Where can you find me?
Do you have anything to promote, to shill out?
Any Twitters?
Any Twitters?
I mean, you can. I'm about real Rasputin on about everything. I'm just one word.
we find you on Xbox?
Yeah, you can find me. That's 2 words though.
Okay.
So on Xbox.
No, hold on. Let me write this down.
Every-
I'm really confused.
Can I find you on Zanga?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not real Rasputin. That's Rasputin.
Yeah, what's
real
your aim?
Rasputin. My
Username?
aim is real Rasputin 1.
What's your live journal?
100. My live journal is Rasputin's journal.
What's your My Free Cams?
My free cams? What about Vampire Freaks?
How about Cam Soda?
Ooh. What's your Tumblr?
My Tumblr. Ooh, that one's for other stuff.
Yeah, you have to pay to get access to his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just Tumblr.
That's how he gets you.
That's how he gets you. Hunter, where can we find you? I know you have a whole bunch of stuff you're doing.
Yeah, no, I'm at Old Man Mikowski on Twitter and Instagram. I'm kind of leaning more towards Instagram every day. I create content on there. Usually post daily, whether it's photographs from Zelda or videos and gameplay
How do you
from
spell
Destiny.
that? How do you spell that?
That's OLMAN, Old Man Mikowski with a K.
Okay.
MAKOWSKI.
All right.
And he was speaking of content just now, and
Content
content
is king.
is king.
Content is
Now,
good.
you also stream a lot, right, on Twitch?
Yeah, and I'm on Twitch too. So I just got the Twitch going about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
We're up to about 550 followers. So we're trying to get some hype in the chat, man.
There you
We're
go.
moving forward.
Trey, have you hit your 1,000 subs yet?
I'm way past 1,000 subs, buddy.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Excuse
Where can,
me.
we
Blazed
find,
past it.
where can we find you?
I'm
On the
at Helen Smeller on Twitter.
Twitter?
And I'm also at Sportsturm
All right.
on Twitter.
You can find
That's your backup account.
Yeah.
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 You can find me at Trey Vids on Twitter and on everything else, Trey Vids. On YouTube, it's youtube.com/CrayTrey1310, I want to say.
Yeah.
Or just search Trey on YouTube. I got a new video out, the film Influences of Blood Dragon. So
Okay.
watch that. Working on film influences of Resident Evil 7 right now. So I've been watching a lot of horror movies.
Horror movies?
Horror movies.
Oh, we say it like Kirk.
Horror.
He says orange and horror.
Orange.
Horror
Horror.
movies.
He's from
Horror.
the Northeast.
Also, we do
Houston.
Super GamesCast 64, Super Filmscast 64. That's with me and Adam. We talk about movies. I'm trying to think of other else things I could shill out. I don't know. I think that's about plugs. TreyMitchell.com for
yeah.
everything.
You can find me on Wednesdays at the corner of Elm and Griffin begging for money.
Yeah, go help Austin out. He's not doing too well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please, subscribe to Blowout and listen to their stuff. I was actually on Partial Recall with KJ and Clay and David Mino, and we're talking about our college experiences.
Oh,
So-
your Fuji stuff?
My Fuji stuff. So go listen to that. And go give them a listen. Go give everyone on the Blowout Network a listen, which you probably already do if you're listening to this. So just ignore me. So thanks again. Thanks guys for coming on. It's been fun. Hope to have all you
thank
guys
you.
on again.
Thank you.
Except for Austin.
Oh.
I'm finding a real
The
place
other
now.
Austin, not Austin G.
No, Austin G.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Just don't like him.
It's
Okay.
a road. It's called a rainbow road.
Dude, we're playing it.
It is
Every
the road that you go.
Podcast from now on.
Good. I'm glad I showed it to you.
Dude, it's the best.
I hope it was playing under me right then when I was
I was
saying
about to say we need a closeout song.
We need a well, that's what we're doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Princess Peach, Mario, and the Toad.
It's
Better
a
be
road
edited.
I'm gonna go. It's got Princess Peach, Mario, and Toad.
Have a good night.
It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. And you will know when you get there. It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. It's a road that you go when you die. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's a road we're all gonna go. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's got Princess Peach, Mario, and the Toad. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's a road we're all gonna go. We'll go. It's Rainbow Road. It's where you go when you die. It's Rainbow Road. I'll miss you again, Uncle. It's Rainbow Road. It's where you go when you die. It's Rainbow Road. I'll miss you again on Rainbow Road. It's called the road. It's called the Rainbow Road.